come on over this way. We're going to group up over here. Anyone inside here? Come on out. Don't be afraid. Don't hide in here. We're going to allow these little slow walks to let you get away with that today, but after today, that shit ain't going to work. So today's not going to be a full, fast-paced workout. It's going to be kind of just showing you around the gym, showing you where you need to check in and things like that first, like a little quick tour where the different pieces of equipment are. So when you do come in for a regular session, you're going to know exactly where things are and have an idea of basic names of equipment. And then we're going to go through all the core basic exercises. So say, for instance, a shoulder press, right? We're going to do just a real simple shoulder press with a dumbbell today, just to get you through the mechanics of it. But there's millions of ways to do a shoulder press. So in the future, maybe you're going to be using a medicine ball, or you're going to be doing alternating arms, or a bar, or a dumbbell. It's all the same mechanics. So we're going to go through just the core foundation movements so you have a good idea how to do it, and then also how to do different modifications for each of them, either easier, harder, and then also where the different pieces of equipment are, the names of the equipment, the names of the exercises. And it's going to be a lot of information. It's not going to be all memorized today. You're not going to be expected to, so you're still going to have that learning curve your first week, your first 2 weeks or whatever. So that's going to be totally fine. And this is going to be this very similar, pretty much foundation workout every Sunday. So if you still feel like after a week or 2 weeks you still need a little help on certain movements or certain exercises, you can just come in again anytime. It's every Sunday, 10:15, both locations. So it's not like you have to memorize everything today and then you're on your own. So it'll be there to help you, make sure you're doing things the right way. The trainer's always going to be helping you every time. This is just to kind of get you a little kickstart, get you a little understanding of a lot of the basic movements. Make sense so far? Sound good? So we're just going to fly around the gym real quick in like 60 seconds just to show you where everything's at. We're not going to spend time like checking in or anything, but we'll show you where you would check in. So you can just kind of quickly follow me around. So every time when you first come in, except on the weekends, there'll always be someone at the front desk to help you anyway if you need help. But there's 2 tablets here. You're just going to check in when you come in. You would check in. If for some reason you weren't in the tablet, if it was misspelling, there's always a chart here you would put your name on. Only if you're not in the tablet. Don't be one of those lazy people that just runs by and scribbles a name, because they do it all the time. There's people who've been here for a year that still put their name on the sheet because they're just too lazy to type the thing. So make sure you check in on the tablet. On Mondays, every Monday, you're going to weigh in. If you didn't weigh in already, if you weren't here for orientation yesterday, get your weigh in. And then every Monday coming up, you're going to weigh yourself in on the scale right here. There'll be a chart here. It'll say for the 6-week challenge if you're in the 6-week challenge. If you're not, regular members also have a chart. If any of you are regular members, you would also weigh in there. And the scale is right here. You'll just come in, put your stuff. This is where you always put your stuff. Most of you already saw it. It's just a little kitchen, lounge room. You can hang out there in the tables and chairs, whatever. And the cubby holes, there's coffee usually in there, coffee machine, stuff like that. The bathroom's over here, women's bathroom, men's bathroom, and this is just the admin offices that we have during the regular working hours. If you need help with someone in the admin's there, you need to speak to someone, that's over there. Equipment, real quick, it's going to fly through. This is just for a lot of that. Equipment is just stored in here. You can kind of just squeeze in here for a second, just to get a quick look. This is where you would just run in during a round or whatever during a session. Yeah, just squeeze on in. That's fine. We're going to be here for a second. You're not ever going to be training in here or anything. You just run in, grab your stuff, and run back out. So here's the specialty equipment over here. There's just like ladders and sliders. If you need sliders, that's these discs right here. Because you'll need to kind of know the names. You'll get used to after a while. Foam rollers are up there on the top. Then all the different types of medicine balls. These that don't bounce are dead weight medicine balls. These bigger ones are just big medicine balls, Bosu balls. And then there's just boxing mitts and some additional stuff over here. You'll get a feel for all the names of the equipment. But the main ones you need are the different types of medicine balls, the Bosu balls, and then the specialty equipment like sliders and ladders. That's the main stuff you'll ever need in here. And then the one he's sitting on, my little partner here, is the stability ball. Sometimes you'll be using those, and there's sandbags under there too, but those aren't used too often. It's really the dumbbells, the medicine balls. So then flying over here, main stuff you need to worry about over here are bands. There are bands all over. We're going to actually use these as part of our warm-up to some of the strength exercises in a little bit. So these are just your regular exercise bands. They're all over the place. On all the poles of the boxing bag cage, they're here. On all these poles, even some over there, so you could be all spread out and find the bands. There's different intensities of the bands, starting from pink, which is light, orange is medium, yellow is heavier, blue is considered heavy, and black is extra heavy. Then kettlebells. These are all kettlebells down here. Just really just to let you know the names of the exercise. We're not using all this stuff today. We're going to do very basic movements in a little bit. We're just kind of showing you where everything is so you know when it's time to get kettlebells where they are. Kettlebells down there, TRXs. These are also scattered around the room. There are a lot of them hanging on the cage over there. There's hanging on every rack here. These are TRXs. Our monster bands are these bands. So these are just our regular exercise bands. Monster bands are these ones that loop around, like a full loop, which we use for a lot of different movements also. So these are monster bands that hook on these hooks here. And then all the dumbbells are right over here. The lighter, it's the heavier. Over in the corners like the 75, 80, 100, 120. I'm sure that's the one you guys are going to be using mostly, right? So just so you know where those are, so you can run and grab those real quick. These are just some piece of equipment that you're not really going to use much. This is more we use for some training machines and stuff. Except the one over here that you might use, say you have a knee problem or something and there's a squat jump going on in the workout. Here's a rope climb machine, which is great if you have a lower body. So it's basically an upper body cardio machine that you can change the intensity of. So during a class, even though this is never going to be really in the session, this is here for if someone has lower body problems and can't do anything like that. It's just one of the options to do different upper body movements while if there's something you can't do, if you completely can't do, even a modified version of your lower body. If you need, the front desk person will help you if you ever need to purchase any water, or we have a full line of meal replacements and supplements, Herbalife line, and clothing and boxing gear like gloves and wraps, and the front desk person can always help you with that. Or on the weekends, the trainer will just help you with that. They'll just write you up an order for it and take care of it for you, get the stuff for you so it's ready for you at the end of the session. So if you have any water or anything like that to purchase, they can always help you. And the supplements. In the orientations yesterday, we didn't go over the Herbalife supplements. We're going to set up a separate orientation just for that. That's all the meal replacement and weight loss supplements that we have here, a full line that we have that at least 60, probably 65% of the people use that are here, a lot of the people use. If you need a little additional help with planning out your day of food, it's just meal replacements and stuff like that. Some protein type snacks if you're having trouble finding 6 quality meals throughout the day, 5, 6, 7 meals throughout the day. So we're going to set up a Herbalife consultation for that. So that's just the basic and the heavy bags over here for boxing, obviously. So that's a basic layout of where the things are. So where are the kettlebells? Where are the medicine balls? Where are the monster bands? I'm just pointing in a general direction. There's a whole shitload of stuff over there. Which ones? Loops. Where are the Bosu balls? What is a Bosu ball? That half a blue dome, right? Just because you want to get that stuff out of the way now. That's why it's very simple. It's like that's how we're gonna like take this session today, is to really just let this stuff get in your head so you have one less thing to worry about. The last thing you need is to come in your first day, you're nervous as shit, and you're probably like heart is racing, and you're all scared and anxiety. The last thing you need to come in is to say, oh shit, what's the Bosu ball? I don't know the Bosu ball. Where's the Bosu ball? So this is just to get some of that out of the way, to ease some of that and make it a little more comfortable when you get started. Sound good? Perfect. All right, so we're going to actually get into some movements. We're going to grab everyone's just going to use a single band just to make it easier. You could grab any band in any of those poles, any of these poles around here. Just grab one single band. Don't forget, the pink is lighter, orange is a little less light. Really, pink is extra light. No, don't take anything off. Just grab one band. It's supposed to be attached to the pole. I spent all morning attaching that shit to the pole. Don't go start taking that stuff off. So you grab one single band. One would indicate not two. So we're going to go through all the basic movements. Just grab one single band. So there's plenty more over here if you guys don't want to be all crammed up over there. This pole has a ton here that you guys, some of you can go over here so you're not crammed up if you want, or whatever. It doesn't really matter. We're going to grab one single band. All these movements that we're going to do with band, we use these a lot for warm-ups and mixed in between sessions, in between exercises, because these are the basic movements. So we're going to start with a single chest. You don't have to start yet, but if you just look here, my feet are squared up, my elbow's at 90 degrees, my palm is to the floor, I'm right here, I'm pressing out my chest. So this movement is going to be the exact same movement that we use for push-ups, any kind of push-up you're ever doing, any kind of high plank position thing you're doing, any kind of chest press you're doing, whether it's at the bar or the dumbbell or kettlebell, it doesn't matter. It's this same mechanics and movement. So this is like the perfect way to start getting these down. So your elbow's going to be up and out 90 degrees, palm down to the floor, and you're just going to push this forward. Your feet are squared off, straight across from each other, not staggered. And you're going to breathe out as you push forward. Empty your nose, come back, breathe out as you push forward. We're literally going to do one set of each of these things today. See, look, you don't want to be crunched in here because that's 90 degrees. When you come back, you want to be at 90 degrees. Your elbow is straight out from your shoulder, and your elbow is also bent 90 degrees. So just press straight out, squeezing the right side of your chest there. Knees are slightly bent, head is up, chest is out, shoulders are back. Stand up tall. We're literally going to do only 8 or 10 of each of these. Right away, you're going to flip over to your left arm. Same exact thing, chest press. Make sure your knees are slightly bent. Your head is up, your chest is out, your shoulders are back, elbows 90 degrees. Breathe out as you push forward. In through your nose as you're coming back. Breathe out as you're pushing forward. Whenever you're doing the work or the lifting on any movement, make sure you're exhaling. So when you're pushing forward, exhale. Even though it's a band, you don't need that extra burst of your air. You're going to need it eventually once you get tired and once you have heavier weight. So let's just get like 2 more. We should be on your left arm. For half of you, that's your other arm. And flip right around. You're going to go to your right arm. And we're going to do a back row. So now your feet are still squared up. Your palms are just going to be in. Your shoulders are backing down. And we're just going to pull this straight back. It's just a simple back row. Flip around. You're pulling it back now. So it's the opposite of what we just did. We just did a chest press. Now we're doing a back row. Just pausing it back here to your right arm. Hand comes into your rib. Your shoulder blades face together. And release forward. Breathe out as you're pulling it back. Pause and squeeze at the back. Make sure your knees are slightly bent. Pause and squeeze. Release it forward. And switch right over to the left arm. We're just going to fly through these. This is just a warm-up for strength movements. We're not going to spend a lot of time on it. Rip it back, pause and squeeze, control it forward. Breathe out. Make sure your knees are bent. Squeeze behind your left shoulder. You're spending your left arm right now. Left arm. Your other left. There we go. Left arm. Breathe out, pull it back and squeeze. Knees are slightly bent. Pause and squeeze. All right, we're going to go to a chest fly. So put it in your right arm. Now get sideways to your band. So that band is like a straight extension of my straight arm. And all I'm going to do is squeeze this into the center of my chest. So as if I was bringing 2 arms together, it would meet in the middle of my chest. So we're sideways to it. We're doing a single arm chest fly. Breathe out as you're squeezing it in. Get tension on there. There should be tension on the band the entire time. If it's going loose when your arm is extended, then you're too close. And if you can't get it all the way out with tension, then it's just too thick of a band. Arm is straight the whole time. Don't change the angle of your elbow. Don't bend your elbow coming in. Don't bend your elbow. Where the blue t-shirt out in front. Blonde hair. And flip around, left arm. So it's a left arm chest fly. So we did chest press, back row, and now chest fly. Arm is straight. There's a slight bend in your elbow, but it's fixed in place. So when you're rowing, you're not doing this. You're a slight bend in your elbow, but it's fixed. See, it's staying, not increasing the angle of your elbow at all. So this left arm chest fly, squeeze the left side of your chest. Pause that squeeze the inside, resist it out. And face into the pole. We're flying through these because these are really just basic warm-ups with the band. You're going to do a right arm pullover. Your arm is straight out. Or you're going to pull this all the way down to the thumb missing the side of your leg, squeezing in your lats. Just from here, and pull it over. Breathe out as you're pulling down. Make sure your abs are strong. Your chest is out. Your shoulders are back and down. Your knees are slightly bent. Pause and squeeze the bottom and control it up. Breathe it out, rip it down. If you're already sucking wind doing this stuff, you're in trouble. I need some heavy breathing already. This is going to be a long day. Switch to the left arm. You should be breathing. You should be hearing your breathing, even on easy stuff. You should be exhaling. And into your nose. Exhale as you rip it down. Pause and squeeze. And resist it up. Rip it down, pause and squeeze, resist it up. Rip it down, squeeze, and control. Right away, we're going to go to your right arm bicep curl. Right here, right arm. Arm extended, palm up. It's going to bring your hand to your ear. Your upper arm stays parallel to the floor the whole time. Just a right arm bicep curl. We're just going through the basic upper body movements here with the band to get ready for the regular movements you would do for the day, whether it's with kettlebells, dumbbells, barbells, medicine balls, whatever. It's all the same mechanics. Switch to the left arm right away. Left arm bicep curl. Pause that squeeze. Feet are squared up on this. They shouldn't be staggered. You should square it up, straight across from each other. All right, we're going to go right arm tricep. This is one that some people have a little trouble with because you need to have posture. We're going to lean over at the waist a little bit. Keep your elbow glued into your side. My back is straight. I'm just extending my arm and bending it. But my elbow never leaves my side. So my elbow is stuck in along my ribs, and it's extend, bend, extend, bend. Right arm. We all should be on the right arm. Don't let that elbow leave your side. It's not a pullover like we did the earlier one. And switch right over to the left arm. Abs are strong. Back is straight. Kick it back. Breathe out as you kick it back. In through your nose, you're coming forward. Kick back. Resist forward. We're literally just doing a few of each. Squeeze your tricep. And done. Good. Drop it down. So just to look up real quick, so we did chest press, which is working your chest, your shoulders, your triceps. Then we flipped around and did a back row, which is working your back, your lats, and your biceps. Then we did the chest fly. Guess what muscle the chest fly is working? That chest muscle. Tricky stuff here, right? Wake the hell up. Then the pullover is working your lats and your back and a little bit of triceps. The bicep curl obviously working your bis, tricep kickback, working your tris. So let's just real quick stretch your shoulders out right here. Grab one elbow, pull it right across, stretch your shoulder. Even while you're stretching, keep your feet moving. Just kind of step in place, keep your blood flowing. Fling it open, stretch the other side. You're just going to hold it for 2 to 3 seconds. You're not going to hold it for too long. On your own. Fling it open and grab the first side again, one more time. And to the other side. Now we're going to do some basic lower body stretches and warm-ups because we didn't get much to the lower body yet. So we're going to do a quad stretch. So this one, if you don't have good balance, you're going to hold on to somewhere. You're just going to grab here for 1 to 3 seconds. The leg you're standing on, make sure the knee is slightly bent. And you're just going to switch back and forth. 1 to 3 seconds. We want to do active dynamic stretching before the workout because you're getting your body ready to move. So you don't want to just be laying on the floor holding that quad stretch for like 20 or 30 seconds. That's how we're going to do it at the end to start the recovery process. But we want to get ready to move, so that's why we're sitting here with active dynamic stretching. Make sure the knee you're standing on is slightly bent. And just switch. We're just going to do it a couple times each. Let's go to a knee hug. Same thing. Hug the knee up to your chest. Same thing. 1 to 3 seconds. You'll get a feel for how long you need to hold it. It could be faster pace or slow pace. If you need help with the balance, you can just hold on somewhere. But at the same time, this is practice for your balance also. It's a good way to practice on your balance. It's only 1 to 3 seconds. We're going to go with a hamstring stretch. So one leg, front leg is going to be forward with your toes up in the air. You're going to lean forward without lock. Don't lock this knee out. It should be a tiny, tiny bend. Reach forward with your back straight. So don't slump like this. That does nothing for your hamstring. Just as far forward as you can with your back straight. Come up. We're just going to fling this open just to straighten you out and switch sides. Just a few each side. Again, hold for just 1 to 3 seconds. If you had somewhere to put it up on, you can put it on, but you're going to be splattered across the floor, so we're going to learn how to do all these stretches without any additional equipment. Stretch the hamstring. Make sure your back is straight when you're leaning forward. And bring it open. All right, we're going to hit your glutes. So you're going to get one hand under your ankle, one on the outside of your foot, and just kind of lift this up. Stretch your glutes. Same thing, 1 to 3 seconds. If you need to, again, just hold on somewhere and pull it up. That's fine. If you need to hold on somewhere for your balance. Get one hand under your ankle and one on the outside of your foot. You don't want your ankle ripping and twisting like this, right? So keep this straight. This should be a straight line. And just keep switching. And the knee you're standing on, keep it slightly bent the whole time. And let's just get some shoulder circles. Get a little more upper body loosened up before we move on. Big, wide, loose shoulder circles. While your feet are still stepping in place. So these are some of the different basic warm-ups and stretching. I'm going to go through how a basic warm-up would go. More for a strength. We're kind of going to go through some strength type stuff and then some cardio type stuff of basics of warm-ups and exercises. And come backwards. Keep those feet moving. Don't stand just flat-footed. If you're just stepping in place, marching in place, waddling around like I am. And let's come in and out again, but without stopping. Fling it open. Right arm on top, right arm on bottom. Fling it. Still breathing, still your feet still moving. And that's good. So we're going to now go similar movements, some similar movements that we did with the bands, the exercise bands, except we're going to now translate those into dumbbells. It's going to be just 4 real simple movements, adding in some lower body, and we're going to keep it single arm, so you just can focus on that one thing. So just grab one single dumbbell, it doesn't matter what weight it is. It could be light. We're not here looking today for a crazy workout. We're just a dumbbell. So it's going to go through, just now you get spread on the floor. We're just going to do a few different exercises with that dumbbell. In a real session, if you were going to do, we're going to do like 4 straight exercises now. We're going to do a chest press, we're going to do a squat, a shoulder press, and a deadlift with that single dumbbell. If you were doing this on a real session, a real workout, you might bring 2 or 3 different weights with you because those are different exercises that are going to require different amounts of weight. But just for today, for the purpose of today, just to learn the movements and kind of get the idea, we're just going to stick with that single dumbbell. So it might be light for some of these exercises are heavier. Normally you would need different weights. You know what I mean? You would bring a couple of different options over for yourself. So we're going to go, there are different ways to do a chest press like we did with the band, right? You can also do them on a bench. You can do them on a stability ball, laying on a stability ball. You can do them laying on a poster ball. Today, just to make it simple, we're just going to go flat on our back on the floor so we can just get the most basic and fundamental way. So you're just going to be right here on your back. We're going to go right arm. So think about that band you just did in the warm-up. Your elbow out 90 degrees, palm is forward. Let's get our knees bent with our feet flat on the floor. And he's going to breathe out, pushing straight up and in. Like if you had 2 of them, you were bringing them close together. So breathe out, push it up and in. The elbow should just tap the floor. Palm should be forward. The elbow comes out. Breathe out, push up and in. Let it come out to 90 degrees. Don't tuck your elbow in here. Here more. Bring it like as if you were bringing 2 together. Because you would, most of the time, sometimes you'll be doing this thing while you work out, but you know, a lot of times you have two dumbbells. We're just getting this, focusing on one arm just so you can really focus on that technique. So bring it up and in as if you were bringing two weights together. So you come right to the center of your chest. Now tap your elbow, breathe out, squeeze it in towards the center. There you go. Breathe out and drive it up. Exhale as you're pushing up. Let that elbow come out a little more. Tap the elbow, breathe out, and in, almost like a half of a triangle. Tap your elbow, breathe it out, drive it up. Exhale, in through your nose, on the way down, out through your mouth, on the way up. Whenever you're doing the lifting of the weight, whenever you're doing the exertion, that's when you're going to exhale. So you're lifting that weight when you're pushing right now. So you're going to exhale as you burst that up. As you get tired, as the weight gets heavier, on a real set, you would need to start letting that breathing help you out. So burst that up there. Let's get about 2 more. Breathe out, tap the elbow to the floor, drive it up, and good. Flip it over to the other arm. Flip it over from your chest. I should not recommend flipping it over up here because you will drop that shit on your face unless you have a good dental plan. Left arm, elbow out 90 degrees. Breathe out, drive it up. Exhale. And there normally would be music playing and all that other stuff. We purposely have it off today just so you can focus, you can hear exactly what we're saying, you can get the details of all the techniques. So there normally would be music, which wouldn't be my annoying voice only. Just keep that palm in, hold that palm out all the time. Now, tap the elbow, breathe out. And also think about how that weight feels. Whatever weight you're using now, most of you looks like it's probably too light. So just keep in mind, okay, for a chest press, this is how this weight felt. Always bank that stuff in your memory. Every single exercise you're doing here, every single set. So the next time you do it, or the next round, you'll know you need some heavier weight. So that weight might be too light for you, or maybe it's too heavy. And also depends on the amount of time you're doing it for and how many reps. So you need to process all that stuff in your brain. Because if the amount of reps you guys are doing now, this weight is not too challenging for you, for most of you. And that's good. Come up on your feet. We're going to use that same weight. With the dumbbell, there's a few ways. We're just going to go with a squat. There's a few ways you can do it. You can hold it straight across here. If you had a pair, you could hold them both here. If that was too heavy, you would just go to one here or even one here. We're going to all do it this way today just for the hell of it. Because this is going to allow you to keep a little better posture. You're going to keep your shoulders back, tucked in, and it's going to sit your hips back like you're sitting down into a chair. Your butt goes back, sit on your hips and heels. So your head is up, chest is out, shoulders are back and down, abs are strong. Sit butt back like you're into a chair. Don't let your heels come off the floor. Your heels should grind into the floor. You should be sitting so much back onto your heels that you can even lift your toes off the floor if you want to. You should be able to slide like a credit card under your toes. I'm not saying you have to lift your toes off, but that's how much you should be sitting back. But see, I can lift my toes up because all my weight is back here. We want the weight on your glutes and your quads, not your toes and your knees. That's going to kill your knees. Make sure you're sitting back, think deep on your butt. And if you can't get all the way down there, if that was just too heavy, you would do it without the weight, right? If you needed to modify. If you really need to, you would just go halfway down. And then say you really needed help with it, you can hold a TRX here, which is going to then take some weight off of you and help you with the motion also, if you have a bad knee or something. So don't think you have to always do it the way that we're doing it. All right, so you can just put that down for a second. So we did a chest press and a squat. So there's one modification. Another one would be on a bench. If you want to use the weight, but you can't get as low, you're having trouble at maybe the bottom position, but the weight's not an issue, it's more like a knee thing, you can sit here on a bench and still then get the work on the way up and not have that pressure knee. So there's always ways to do it if you have a problem with doing something. There's always a modification you can do. But the technique of a squat, you're going to do a million different types of ways with dumbbells, with kettlebells, jump squats. So even a jump squat, we're not going to do it right now, we're going to get to that in a second, but it's the same mechanics. I'm just handing it jumps. I'm still sitting back on my hips and heels, the head is up. So once you have the foundation movements down and the technique and the different cues of each exercise, it is the same for everything. So, right, so let's get that weight again. Remember that band row we did, right? Second exercise, we're going to do a bent over row here. Make sure abs are strong. The arm you're doing, that leg's going to be kicked back. The other hand's going to be on your leg, right here. Your back needs to be straight, and just pull this to your rib. Just like you did with the band before. Breathe it out, pull it back. So you're going to squeeze that right side of your back. Right hand. The other right, the other right. Pause and squeeze. Look at my face up here. Look where my face faces. Wherever my chest goes, my face follows. I don't want to be here and then looking up here. Look at my voice. You can just hear my voice that posture is not good. Now look. Now it's back to my normal screwed up voice. Not my bent neck screwed up voice. So your face should be following your chest. Pause that squeeze at the top. Squeeze behind your shoulder, down the side of your lats. Squeeze behind your shoulder. Digging your lats, the side of your back right here. Behind here, look down forward, no frame, there you go. Your face should be following your chest. Squeeze, squeeze it behind your shoulder here, in your back. Most of you, this is probably a lightweight, this type of movement. But the thing you need to focus on is your posture and keeping your back straight. Don't let it round. Do it again. Bend at the waist, at the hips. Bend the knees a little bit. Squeeze behind the shoulder. And stand up straight. In between switching arms, just going to stand up straight just to get out of that position. And from north to other hand, same thing. Now your left leg's going to be back, right hand on the right knee, and rip that hand straight back. Left hand to your left rib. Your goal is to get your back parallel to the floor, if you can. So your goal really would be to be here, as long as you can keep your back supported with your abs and keeping your back straight. Well, as that squeeze, breathe out as you bring it up. Exhale when you bring it up. So this is a pulling movement, so you're going to be breathing a little bit differently. Now you're lifting the weight when you're pulling it towards your body, not pushing it away from your body like on the chest press. So make sure you're breathing out as you pull it up. Pause and squeeze. Dig in your back. Constantly squeeze. Think about the muscles you're working. Behind your shoulder, the left side of your back, and your lats down here on the side. Pause and squeeze. Dig and control it down. And good. Just place it down for a second. Stand up straight. We're going to go right into a deadlift next. So a deadlift, millions of ways you can do a deadlift. You can use a sandbag. You can use a barbell. You can use a monster band, kettlebells, dumbbells. So you can, if you don't, most of these exercises we're doing, you would normally do it with 2 dumbbells. We're doing it one today just to make it simple. So you would have one in each hand for, say, a dumbbell deadlift. For today, you're just going to hold both here like this. It's going to be ridiculously light for this. This is all just about learning techniques and just getting your body moving and mentally preparing you and physically preparing you for what you're about to go through. So a deadlift, your chest is out, your shoulders are back and down, abs are strong. That's everything. Anytime you're standing up, all throughout your life, your chest should be out, your shoulders should be back and down, and your abs should be strong. That's how you should be standing. People should look at you when you're walking around with your average day like, what an asshole. Look at that person. It's screwed up. If you have good posture, you're considered an asshole. But that's how Marines stand, and we're all now Marines. So you're going to be here. You're tall, you're strong. Your feet are about shoulder width apart. Maybe a little wider, you'll adjust it as you go. Your butt's going to go back as if you're leaning over to pick something to the floor right in front of you and just drive your hips. You're hinging from your hips. Your knees are bending a little bit. Remember, your face is following your chest. Drive. So you're working your hamstrings, your glutes, and your lower back all at the same time. The weight's full that straight. You don't have to lift it up here. So your arms are pretty much straight.
Knees bend a little.
And drive. Slight bend in the knees, yeah. And as you lean over, there might be a little increase in bend in the knee, and then drive up. So we're not doing totally straight, stiff leg, locked out deadlift. There are times when we keep them straight, but right now you're bending them just a little bit, and extend as you come up. So this should be hip hinge is what should be lifting you up and driving you up. Consciously in your head, squeeze your hamstrings, your glutes, your lower back. They should all be working. But you need to keep that back straight. Don't let your back round in when you're coming over. You're going to hurt your back. So think, you don't have to get as low as I'm showing. So the way to modify that would just be go down to your knees maybe. If you can't get, if once you go past here, you start rounding your back, don't go all the way down to your knees. Breathe out, drive it up. Exhale. Couple more. And time. So say there was a day with kettlebells and you just don't have the motion down. A great way to do it and not just have to, if you really need to practice it because you have a back problem, you would literally do it with nothing. Just to get used to leaning over, get technique in your hips. But these monster bands are a great substitute when if it's a day you're using like heavy kettlebells or dumbbells or something, is you would just step on this with both, grab these 2 handles, and right here, it's a great one to teach you the movement. It kind of springs you right into the spot right here. Just standing tall, just leaning down. Think about picking up some bags of stuff at the store. I see you guys in the freaking Palisades Mall with all them damn shopping bags you guys have. You know how to do this shit. And just drive straight up. Hamstring, glutes, lower back. So we're going to go to shoulder press. Boot up, right arm. You can do shoulder press, your elbow out, palm forward. There's times there'll be palms in, so this is just palm forward or palm in. We're going to go palm forward right now. Like everything else, knees are slightly bent. Anytime you're standing, your ankle, your knee, your hip, all slightly bent. So you have a strong athletic stance. Abs are tight, chest is out, shoulders are backing down for everything. I'm right here. Even though it's a shoulder press, I'm thinking about everything working. I'm thinking of every movement being a total body exercise. So I'm squeezing my bicep right now, my tricep, and my shoulder. Breathe out, push up and in like you're bringing 2 of them together. Down apart, strong, 90 degrees. Elbow just across from my shoulder. Breathe out, drive it up, palm forward. You people that have been here for a while, don't tell them that I'm just acting like I'm really nice. They think it's going to be all slow and sweet when they come in. Don't tell them the truth. They're like, wow, this isn't that bad.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But you will live. You will live through it.
Yeah, do it. Good luck. Enjoy.
That's Maureen, by the way. You saw her picture yesterday with her 100 pounds in 9.5 months. Record holder.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Breathe out, drive it up.
It's possible.
And let's control to the left arm. Out, shoulder. You're thinking here. So when you're doing these sets, you want your brain to connect to muscle you're working. So everything's working. I'm still squeezing to support myself, but I'm thinking shoulder. Drive up with that shoulder. Control, resist down. Breathe out when you're pushing up. And into the nose down. Breathe out. And into the nose. Drive it up. Inhale down. When you're doing the lifting, the work, you want to get that little burst. So when I did a row, see, I'm breathing out and I'm pushing the weight away from my body. It's just a pushing movement. If I'm doing a pulling movement, like when we did the row, I was breathing out and I brought it close to my body. Because it's a pulling. So it's wherever you're doing the work and the lifting. And that's good. You can run, and we're always, whenever we're done with a piece of equipment, we're always going to put them back exactly where they were, in order, totally organized, so that the next time you need them, they're all ready for you. You always try to keep the numbers facing up, so we don't take any time. And you can be much more efficient when we're getting our stuff. You just see where your weights are, you're running ready. But keep in mind what weights you just used for every one of those exercises. So in your head, tell yourself, okay, that shoulder press weight was good. That chest press weight was too light. So when it's time for you guys to do this in the real workouts, you'll just be able to run and grab the weights you need, and you'll have a good idea. We're going to go now. So that was just real basic overview of just some band strength warm-up stuff, some basic dumbbell strength exercise. Now we're going to do some basic, if you need water at any time, you can just run, grab some water, you got to do it. Now we're going to do some body weight strength stuff. Did you just put that camera up my nose?
Nope.
So a push-up. How many here think they can't do a full push-up? Can't. All right, that's fine. So there's a million ways to do it. A real push-up would be with your hands a little wider than shoulder width, your feet straight apart, lowering straight down to your chest leads away, touch the floor, and drive up. Your face is facing down. You're not looking up here again because you want that posture. That would be a normal, regular push-up. A million ways to make this easier. So everyone just hold that, start off just holding that position. Just get in that position if you can. If you can't, just let me know and we'll show you what else to do. There are a million ways to do this. So right here. Just hold that, feet all the way together, touching, heel to heel, toe to toe. That's the best way, hardest way to do it. That's what a real push would be. Your feet literally touching, heel to heel, toe to toe. Like touching together, your feet. Your hips should be down, your back should be totally straight. Your body should be in a straight line from your ear to your shoulders, your hip to your knee to your ankle. One straight, strong, stiff line. It's just a high plank position, but it's a push-up position. So now, if you know you can't do a push-up, now bring your feet a little further apart, give yourself a foundation, and just hold there.
Make sure your butt's down, right?
Back totally straight. And from there, just see how you do with the push-up. Just go as low down as you can when you know you're still going to get back up. I don't care if it's 1 inch bend of your elbow. And if you can't even do that, that's fine. Even just holding that position is going to be better. If you just